Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we've got my mother here. And so we said we're going to talk about package tours, baby boomer travel, things like that. And so let's get started. Anyway, welcome. Say hi. This is my mom.
Hi,
You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Kathy Wolters, Mark's mother.
Yeah, she's worked with us before. A couple months ago?
Yeah.
Maybe more, 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
We actually had to sit down here, did a live session with her to talk about boomer travel and things like that, and it really went really well. And so people had asked her to come back. No one asked me to come back, but they asked my mom to come back. So they're all saying hi to you, Mom, over there.
Hi.
So if my mom has to do like this, she's just using her readers to get there.
I need help.
So we have that. So we're going to talk about a few things that people had already written to us before. And one person asked, like, Mom, have you traveled much? Have you seen some of the world?
Yes, I have seen some of the world. Usually we average about 3 international trips a year. All the way from Norway down to Spain, down to South America, to Colombia. China. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about China. Brazil, Thailand.
Yeah, they get around, see. But
Sweden.
the thing is they didn't do this when we were kids.
No.
They started doing this when I was doing my master's degree in Europe, and they started to come visit me, and they're like, hey, this traveling thing's pretty fun. And we spent our summer vacations as a kid in Ohio. Okay, we were in Illinois. We'd go over to Ohio and go to Sandusky and do Cedar Point. And go to Toledo and have pancakes and stuff. So, hey, Saskatchewan. Hey, everybody that's there. Thank you for saying hi to my mom.
Hi.
We try to do this a little bit. Hey, Atlanta. Hello, Oklahoma. Buenos noches. David Perez. Hey, Brisbane. This is why we're doing it kind of later in the night here in the U.S. It's at 8 p.m. where we are, like where Chicago is. Because I know we've been doing a lot of these live feeds, and our fans in Australia and New Zealand are like, dude, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. You're totally, we hate you. So we want to do something for them so they can actually get some. Hey, past Christian, Mississippi. Mardi Gras is always a good time. Hi from Ottawa. Hi, Milwaukee, everybody. So we want to do this. We get some more people in there to try to talk to some people. So our buddies in Europe, we're really sorry we weren't there. Latvia, hey, you're up late. You should be in bed. Tomorrow's a school day, okay? Have we been to Rhode Island yet? Yes, I was actually there. Yeah, she's been there a few times. I was there last year for work. Did more filming in Boston, actually. And actually, I'll be around there next year. Actually, if you're going to go to the capital, there's some really good Portuguese restaurants around there. So it's always good.
Somebody from Denmark?
Yes. See, my mom's very impressed. Vancouver. We got all kinds. 2 a.m. in Portugal. Well, so you're getting ready to go out. Our people in Portugal getting ready to go out at 2 a.m. So, hey, you're just starting to get having fun. I don't think so. Soft Pretzel Soup says you should go to Pyongyang, North Korea. And a lot of people jokingly ask us, "Are you going to go to North Korea?" No. We're not going to North Korea. It's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. Houston, Texas. We're going to be there later this year. Good to see you all. So, Mom, someone asked, what's your favorite country that you've traveled to?
Oh, I would hate to alienate any of your friends.
It's okay. You
can
give like some you really enjoy, and then say there's a lot more that you like to.
Well, I love Germany, Austria, Norway, Sweden. Lithuania was very interesting, and Latvia. So I like to go. I enjoyed China. That was very, very interesting.
Can you see where I get my answers for where I like to travel? There's always so many answers.
And Russia, St. Petersburg, I like that. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Hey, Leo in Boston.
Portugal. I really grew to love Portugal when Mark lived there. It was. Mm-hmm. There's just so many neat places to go around the world, and it's just so much fun just being there and visiting and seeing what the life's like. Yeah,
and that's the thing is you get a chance to travel. You want to travel more. It's more expensive than drugs, I think, in terms of doing it. But you actually get something out of it, which is really nice. But we have a good time. So we're gonna go through some of the questions. We'll go through some of these that are showing up on the feed on the side, and then we have some questions people sent to us. Some people ask us, would you ever go to the Middle East? Yes, we are going to be going there. I'm looking at setting stuff up for Dubai, either later obviously not in the summer, but like later in the year. Looking at something like that, and some other places in the Middle East. So we have some of those things coming. Have I ever been to Wisconsin? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have. But I have not been to the Dells, so I have to get to the Dells in Wisconsin. See, my mom feels bad that she never took me there. See, now you're making me feel bad. So Archer Heights in Chicago. Hey, how's it going? okay, so Michael W. writes, my mom is doing a cruise from St. Peter's to Moscow and invited me. I'm 30. Well, I'll be the only one under 50 on that trip. You'll be the only person under 60 on that trip. Okay, I've done some of these cruises with some companies. Quasi Cruise. I went on one of those. It's a really nice cruise, but it's me and a bunch of 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds, and so don't expect to be young. But what's cool about the cruise is if you get a good cruise and they have good guides, you can really get a lot out of your experience.
Yeah.
And my mom's done a lot more cruises than I have. Would you have any tips for cruises and stuff? Like, what are some things to look out for?
There are some that are younger or for families. Most of the ones that we've gone on, on our first cruise, we were the young ones.
The young pups. How many years ago was that?
How old are you?
I'm old enough. So it's probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, right. And then we've been to on a Russian cruise. We've been on a Chinese cruise. Really haven't done the Rhine River cruises, but it's a great way to see countries that maybe, those are two that we saw that I probably wouldn't have traveled with, by myself to. But it's fun to go on cruises. Well, we went to Greece and saw the islands, and that was great. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And a friend of mine who's much younger, she went with a younger group. So I know sometimes there'll be groups that are a little bit more, younger.
And the thing is when you're looking at cruises, someone will say, oh, if you ask the company, because they'll say every tour is great for everybody. But if you actually ask them, hey, we're looking to go with kids, I know I went to one in Croatia, and that was me and everyone else was 70, 80. But the thing is, they said if you want a family one, go like June, July for Spain and Portugal. You have a younger one there. And there's always theme ones and stuff like that. But I say for cruises, make sure you know what you want. Like if you want a just party cruise where I don't have to do anything, your big, huge 2,000 to 4,000 people cruises are very different than like a river cruise with like 40 or 50 people.
Very different.
And the thing is one of the things we were talking about earlier about with cruises and package tours, but cruises in general is the more they give you, the less you get of the culture. Like if they're giving you everything of the food and all the tours and stuff like that, everything is controlled. And so you don't necessarily get all the culture side of things. And that's one of the things that we really love about travel. It's like I love meeting the people. We love hey, what should we eat? And like speaking in some broken language, like, hey, food, good, and they're like, oh, get this. Like, okay. But if you're on a cruise, your food's, it's all served to you.
It's selected for you.
Yeah.
You might have a choice of 2 items, maybe 3.
Yeah. And some like I was on, there was none. They only had one option. So I would say be careful with those. But I want to get some of these other questions in here. Would you go to Tel Aviv, Israel? Yes, we would. Don't worry about that one. Best place to go for a family of 4? Well, it depends where you're coming from. I think Costa Rica is a fantastic place for a family, especially if you got younger kids. Lots of outdoor stuff and culture things. Cooking classes, zip lining, stuff like that. Nicaragua is a cheaper alternative to that. If you're going to Europe, Spain and Portugal are both good kid destinations. There's a lot of stuff that's outside. Because the problem is when you got littler kids, they can do a museum. And then they are like, okay, we're done. And so you really got to kind of measure those things together. Because if you're going to travel with your kids, it's not just about you. You got to plan that, look, every day we got to have a little break time for them. And if we go for one of our longer trips, we know at least one day each week is just a kid day, do free day. And actually, that's something that goes into. Some people had asked. I don't write down the name. So they're going with their parents, who are 70s, 80s, and they're like, "What are some tips you have for, like, for me, if for someone that's going to go with their like a multi-generational family thing? What would be some tips for like a 40-year-old that's going with their parents that are they're 50, 60, 70, 80, like that thing? Any tips you want to tell them? One thing I would say is make sure they stay hydrated. You want to keep people drinking, but also don't rush. Like, take people who have time. Like, we're talking about doing a South America trip with the whole family. My dad's like, I don't care. As long as I don't have to get up, I need to relax and take it easy. And that's the thing is when you start to travel with your parents when you're older, like, I'm older and she's older and stuff, we forget that, oh, wait a minute. When I think of my mom, I think of my mom when she was my age, not now. So I'm like, oh, let's go, Mom. Let's go, Mom. Let's go, Mom. And your parents do get tired fast or stuff like that. So make sure you do plan some time for them and don't like overdo it when you're going to go with your families.
Don't pack too much in.
Yeah, don't pack too much in. That's a perfect thing.
Yeah, don't pack too much in. Be realistic because you may want to see many things, and you really need to prioritize which are the most important, and then, okay, then if we get this done, then we'll do that. And it's nice to have a little break from whether they're your family or whether they're other people that you're going with or your friends. It's nice to have a little, maybe the parents are going to do something a little bit different than the children are, or maybe two generations are going to do something. Maybe the grandparents are going to do something with the kids, like go to a park or, so you just need a variety of activities that interest different ages.
Yeah, and the thing is, that what you said is right. You got to realize that it's okay to split up. You don't always have to be together all the time, because when you do, that's when you start getting really frustrated. And the thing is, we're both adults now. So, sometimes she wants to do something, I want to do something else. I'm like, hey, Mom, let's meet back for lunch. Or I'll go film in the morning, and then we'll do something in the afternoon. Just be ready to share that time, but have that conversation before you go. Excuse me, because you don't want to be there and everyone gets really frustrated and no one says anything. Have that conversation before you go so people know that, hey, we're going to need some time out. Now, Gamaliel Otero writes, we'll be in New York City in a week. Best local places. Well, the thing is with New York, there's so many different places. And they're like, we spent a lot of time in Hell's Kitchen eating last time we were there, which, it changed. I mean, the thing is, New York changes so much. But we had a good time eating in Hell's Kitchen. You can do the touristy things. But, I mean, people always get upset with Times Square. The New Yorkers, oh, that's so touristy. Yes, it is. It is super touristy. But you're a tourist and enjoy that. So go and see stuff and enjoy it. And thank Otero for the stuff. And I know a bunch of people are going to tell us a bunch of things. Mark, we'll be in Ecuador. We'll be there actually very, very soon. So we're very excited for that. Lake Garda. Okay, so the one person right, have you been to Lake Garda in Italy? Yes, we have, and we've been to Gardaland, the amusement park in Italy. So you have to go do that one.
Yes.
So one person wrote before, what are some must-eats in Lisbon? Well, anywhere in Portugal, when you're looking at a place to eat, you're going to get seafood, okay? Assorted is my personal favorite. It's a calorie bomb, which is why I love it. But it's like stuffing and eggs and shrimp and sea stuff together. It's just really fantastic. But porco preto, the black pork, the Iberian pork, is fantastic. That's my favorite thing to have there. And the green wine.
Those big sardines.
Oh, yeah. And then sardines. Not the tiny pack sardines, but the big sardines like this that they grill out. But that's in the summertime, like June, July for the festivals.
What about the pastel Belém?
Oh, pastel de Belém. Then there's little custard pastries you're going to get in the Belém district. That's a must-do when you are there. Let's see. So, have you ever been to Missouri? Yes. It's about 5 minutes that way. Okay. So, yes, I've been there. Where am I right now? I'm at my mom's house. This is my parents' house where I grew up. They're nice enough to host Liam and I for the weekend. Jocelyn's home with Caleb having a mother-son weekend. So Liam is having a grandparents' weekend, so it all works out. Yes, this is my mom. Yes, I know. She looks younger than me and cuter than me and better looking than me and thinner than me and awesomer than me, and she has got more hair than me, and so does my dad. So if you want to just get the insults out of the way, it's totally fine. I'm totally cool with that because she's awesome. I'm not awesome. She's awesome. So there is that.
Somebody asked about a trip to Greece in May.
Oh, that'd be a great time to go because the heat's not there. Because you get the heat in Greece, man.
Yeah. It was not. We went, I think two Mays ago, and the weather was beautiful, and we did an island cruise where we went to different islands, and it was fabulous. I'm ready to go back. I'll go with you in May.
Yeah, see, there you go. If you need a travel buddy, she's ready for you, okay? Yes, we go to Missouri to buy fireworks. Yes, actually, we do go to Missouri to buy fireworks. Hey, how is that?
And several other things,
Okay, so I'm going to go back to some other questions that people had from before. Some people asked about package tours. Now, if you're on a cruise, when a cruise is like, it gives you the hotel is in the cruise ship and you're doing all these things. A package tour is they book the hotels, the accommodation, the restaurants, and the locations and stops you're going to see and guides. They book all that stuff and then sell you it in one price. And the thing is, for me, what I've seen with package tours is they can be really good, but usually they're kind of they can be pricey because they're doing everything for you and then they need their markup. So, for example, if I was going to do a trip to Europe, I probably wouldn't do a package tour because I know Europe well enough. I'm not too worried about it.
No, I wouldn't do a package tour.
Yeah.
I would get the train schedule. I'd get familiar with the trains and how they operate. Traveling in Europe by train is fabulous, and you do get to meet locals. Somebody was asking, how do you meet locals? And it's like just be available, stay in local hotels that are run by somebody local. I mean,
Yeah, it's amazing.
that's what we try to do is when we're independently travel is make sure that we're staying in, say, Germany, a German-owned hotel, and they remember us.
Yeah.
We go back, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, you're the Wolters. You've stayed here before."
From years before they'll
Yeah.
talk. We were in Innsbruck, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know you," and I'm like, "Whoa."
Bamberg, Germany.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Well, there was one up here before that was going off of that. I lost it. Dang it. I'm sorry, because we got all this stuff going on over here, and then we're trying to get some other stuff down. But, back to the package tour thing. When package tours I actually think are really good is if you feel uncomfortable going someplace,
that's
whether it's safety or maybe you're scared of the language barrier or something like that, or you don't have time. Package tours can be really easy for you.
Everything's arranged. You don't have to worry about anything, especially if you aren't a planner. If you like to just go and have it all done for you, that's a perfect setup for you.
I'm drinking water, see?
So am I.
We're healthy. So someone asked if we talked about Argentina yet. No, we have not talked about Argentina yet, but we will be. No, we're actually looking at going this summer. We have a friend of ours, well, actually, my host brother when I was in Brazil, and then he actually lived here with my parents. He's getting married, so we're going to go down to the wedding, and so we're trying to put like a big multi-generational family trip together. So we'll be back in Buenos Aires and a few other places in Argentina. So I'll be able to show my mom because
I'm looking forward to going to.
Yeah, because if you didn't know, I actually went to university down there for a semester in Argentina, and my mom didn't come visit me.
Well, I was going to, but then.
Didn't happen.
That
was before they were really big into traveling a lot, so that's where that's from. So let's see. Smirnoff water. No.
Oh, have you ever been to Istanbul, Turkey? No. We'd
like to go. And actually, 2019 is when we're going to do another big, huge European thing where we get like tons of countries and lots of time there. And we're going to be hitting like Romania and Bulgaria, getting back down to Croatia, get to Serbia, Bosnia, Istanbul, Greece. We're going to do like that whole Southeast Europe. We're going to get those countries so we can get everything in because we feel bad we haven't gotten those yet. And speaking of feeling bad I haven't gotten there, someone asked, Oscar Hernandez, asking when we're coming to El Salvador. We are putting together an El Salvador trip and Guatemala together. So we will be getting down there. That's actually one of our big things we want to do because we want to do a lot more in Central and South America because we love it down there. And they have such great people, great food, and it's great with kids down there.
Yeah, kids love it. Grandkids love it.
Yeah. Nojo, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The super chat, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Do I watch Geography Now? Occasionally, I'll check it out. It's another YouTube channel.
Okay.
So, excuse me. Boy, that water has a lot of bubbles in it. Excuse me. So, Mark.
How many times do you usually travel a year?
How many times I usually travel a year? I mean, at least once a month.
Oh, do I get discounts for seniors? Sometimes.
Would you want to talk about that? Or?
Well, I think trains, public transportation, museums, if you're a senior, you can get discounts as you're traveling, at least in Europe. I don't know if we did when we were in Peru or not.
They had some things, but it was more. They had more discounts if you were a national versus a foreigner.
Oh,
so it wasn't so much there. Someone wrote best place to see the Northern Lights. Iceland's great. Norway, Northern Finland. Actually, I saw them in Northern Finland many years ago where I broke my collarbone skiing up in Levy. So there is that. My next trip. What's on my next trip? I'm going to San Diego. That's my next trip. So I'm trying to do more. We're actually, the whole family, we're trying to do more USA stuff because we got a lot of requests to like, Mark, you've done all this European stuff and now you're doing Latin American. You've gotten Japan and China and stuff going. But what about the U.S.? You don't have anything out there. So we're trying to do some more U.S. stuff. So we got to New Orleans and we got down to Austin and San Antonio this year. We're going to San Diego. We're going to go down to Houston, D.C., the Northeast again. So we're trying to get more U.S. things. She was just in Utah. She was out there for
Provo, Salt Lake City.
Yeah, so we're trying to see more of the stuff. Yeah, because Freddie says, please do more USA stuff, and we're trying to. Because the thing is, we have, if you don't know, like 60% of our viewers are not from the U.S. And so we want to show them the U.S. as well because they come here to travel as well.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of really, like, there's a lot of good stuff. Like, a lot of people ask Mark, why aren't you doing videos in Southeast Asia? Well, there's a lot of really good videos already out there. And so for me to help travelers, I want to help travelers where there's not a lot of videos already. So, there's not a lot of good stuff on the U.S. so far. Do More Canada. Speaking of Do More Canada, I'm going to be in Vancouver here in a few months. So Vancouver and Victoria when I'm up there, so it should be fun. When is Memphis, Tennessee going to be on this channel again? Actually, Memphis in May will be down there. So you should see me stumbling around or walking around there.
What's somebody asked what the cheapest European places to travel in Europe.
Okay, so actually that's a video I'm going to be putting out in a few weeks in April, but I guess it's more than a few weeks. But some of the best cheap places to go. Lisbon, Portugal is great. Porto, Portugal is great. Dubrovnik, Croatia is cheap and great. Excuse me. Athens is actually cheap and is actually pretty cheap and good to see. What else do I have on the list?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Romania.
You could do Romania, like Brussels, Romania is kind of neat, but like Cluj-Napoca around there. But those are a little bit tougher to get to. Krakow, fantastic, definitely a cheap place to go. That's actually one of the best cheap places to check out. And even Prague is still affordable. It's not, I mean, it hasn't gotten super expensive like other places, though it is amazingly like so much to see and do. So if you're looking for a cheap place to go in Europe, I would do that one for sure. So Jocelyn just wrote me. I guess she doesn't know that we're going live right now since she's at home doing her thing. What about Alaska? Alaska we are looking at going to, but it's really expensive. And I know a lot of people ask us, how do we pay for all these things? We make a lot of sacrifices. And I mean, I have a real job and Jocelyn works and we have this stuff, but there are limitations to what we can do sometimes. So someone asked Jeff. Okay, Jeff McMillan has written me about 10 times about what to eat in Bruges and Brussels. Well, I'm just going to talk about Bruges because Bruges is way better. Bruges and Ghent. Go to those two, then Antwerp, and then just hop off Brussels for just a little bit. But obviously you want mussels. And if you're going to get mussels in Belgium, there's 5 or 6 different versions there, but you want to get the beer ones, the one made in beer. Those are the ones that give you the clean flavor instead of having all the other stuff with the mussels. Have that with frites, with fries. Obviously, waffles are really good there too. And then you're going to drink beer like crazy when you are in Belgium, but be careful because the beer in Belgium is stronger than it is like in other countries. So you're like, people are like, oh, I can have 5 or 6 beers. I'm like, oh, no. You eat well. There's some really good sweets there too. Let's see.
I can't answer any of those.
All right. A day trip destination from Barcelona.
Oh.
I would go down to, what were some ones you went to?
Well, we went to see where Salvador Dali's home. That was a nice place to go.
Yeah, my mom you guys rented a car to that, didn't you?
Yeah, we drove.
So you can see Dali's house?
Yeah. That was very interesting, the whole community. And then there is a Dali museum that was on the way. So that was like a day trip.
Tarragona, not just a good spice, but that's actually a cool city that you can get to relatively quickly from Barcelona. There's about an hour on one of the trains, if I remember correctly. It's been a few years since I've been there. It's got an amphitheater, the Roman amphitheater there in the hill. It actually is really nice. That's one of the things. Whenever I go there, I'm like, I need to get there again, but then I end up having a really good time in Barcelona.
There's a lot in Barcelona.
So someone asked, have you ever done the ferry from Tallinn to Helsinki? Yes, I just did that last summer. And actually, I've done it many more than just last summer. I did it quite a few times. I used to live over there. I used to live in Finland. Yeah. Yes, it's really easy. It's only about, if you get the fast ones, it's like 2 or 3 hours. And they have like shopping in there, restaurants.
Yeah, it is the way to go.
Yeah, there's kid playlands there. If you want Burger King because you don't want good food, they got Burger King. I'm a Culver's guy, so that's why I got to diss other people. But they do have that. Do you have any good drink ideas for someone who doesn't drink in Europe?
Well.
Orangina.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I find is the fruit sodas in Europe are really good. Like if you get Orangina is a really good orange soda I've seen a lot. Jaffa in Iceland was an orange soda that was good. What was the one we had in Portugal? Oh, then you have lots of good juices. Like Sumol is a Portuguese juice you can get a lot of places. So you can drink those things, you'll be fine. And you don't have any pressure to drink when you're in Europe. It's totally fine. People are pretty cool with it, so don't even worry about that. But yeah, there's some good stuff there. So Nojo's back. Buy some. Okay, so Nojo wrote me. I'm trying to study abroad, Europe. They're a senior graduating job from July. Advice on $4,000 overland trip. Can afford due to joining. Okay, so the thing is, if you're going to be down there, one of the things you got to realize, if you're starting your job, you're not going to have free time like this ever again. So I would use that money to do some of the safaris where you can do like 3 or 4 of the countries around there and stuff like that. That's what I would spend your money on to get the biggest bang for your buck if you're going to be down there. If you're going to be in South Africa, but if you're from South Africa and you want to go out, I think you're going to get the most bang for your buck in Southeast Asia or South America, because Europe you can always go to. That's kind of a thing that you can do your whole life, whereas Southeast Asia and Latin America really enjoy it. Sometimes you can be a little bit more nimble and quick, like a college graduate like yourself. And congratulations, by the way. Do I have any interest in visiting Antarctica? Yes, I do. Actually, Johnson and I were looking at this, and we did have a really good want to do it until we saw the price. And then we're like, wow.
Don't think so.
Yes, and Liam says because it's cold. So Aussie born and bred. Hey, love the name. Love where you're from. I actually was an exchange student there in high school. We are going to go down to Australia. We were going to go this summer, but now that we have a wedding to go to in Brazil, our plans have gotten pushed back. So that's going to be the next big trip is going to be Australia, New Zealand. So it's not going to be as soon as we wanted to. And this is just stuff that happened this week. So there is that. Tosh T. Tosh T writes for the guy that was asking about the asparagus. Belgian must-eats. Carbonada, which is like a tenderloin kind of thing, or a Wiener Schnitzel kind of thing. Croquettes, white asparagus, tartare. Yes, tartare, Liege waffles, chocolates. Tosh needs his own channel. He's way cooler than I am, or he or she. I'm not going to say. I can't divulge our people. Favorite place in Canada? Actually, for me, I love Quebec City. I mean, for me, it was just gorgeous. I mean, I'm just... Sorry. We'll wait to see, because I'm going to go to Vancouver, Victoria, hopefully get to Banff so we can see that. But there's those things. Food tip for London, the UK. The food's not as bad as we like to make it sound. London has so many international foods there. You can eat anything from anywhere, and it'll be great. When I was living in Europe for 12 years, whenever I got homesick, I'd go there and have food from around the world that I really missed. It was just really great. Yeah. So, Mom, let's get my mom into some of these things. I've been talking too much. So...
Pub food.
Pub food. You want to talk about pub food?
Well, in England and Scotland, pub food's great.
Yeah, you're better off with the pub food than sometimes the restaurants, especially in the smaller towns.
Plowman's lunch.
Yeah, special. There's all kinds of stuff. So another person wrote, tips for retirement travel. So what are some things you'd like to tell, like soon-to-be retirees or people that are retired, any tips for them for traveling? Or like about travel or anything?
Well, Mark gave us some sage advice. He said to start traveling when we were younger, and this has been 20 years ago. He said, don't wait till you retire. So my tip is get started now. Maybe go to some of the more difficult places that maybe like Machu Picchu, what is not that easy a place. Peru. Go to even China. Because there were in some places a lot of steps, a little bit difficult. I mean, if you're older, I would say the ones that are more, require more walking or better health, need to do those when you're younger. And then many times what happens again is you have more money when you're working than after you've retired. So sometimes that will limit where you go. So you need to be thinking through, again, I guess your bucket list of where you really want to go and how you want to go.
Yeah, that I couldn't have said it better. That's exactly what it is.
I mean, there are I have heard of single women my age traveling by themselves, but they had traveled by themselves in Europe before they ever, and they go all over the world by themselves. But they started that many years ago. They didn't just start it when they retired. Yeah, they've been doing it. So
yeah, and the thing is, if you haven't started traveling, it's okay when you retire. Go travel. Don't let that stop you either, because some people feel, oh, now I'm too old to do it. Yeah, you're never too old, because the package tours and the cruises. The package
tours are perfect. All you have to do is they'll get your plane tickets. They maybe can't get you to the airport, but they'll do almost everything to get you there. And if you have a problem, they're there for you.
Hey, Chubby. Liam
a
needs a drink.
Soda.
Would you like some water? There you go. See, it's water. I would give my child water. See, so I want to say thank you to Janet Blair. I appreciate the super chat. That's super nice of you. Stephanie Anderson writes, "Love your helpful videos." Thank you, Stephanie. That's super nice of you. Nice. Are the stops on cruises long enough to enjoy the town, or is it hectic, worried about what time to return to the ship? Ow! I flicked my ear.
That would be one of the limiting factors for me. Is that sometimes the time. There to me there isn't enough time. Yeah. Sometimes you're lucky if you're on a small boat. Mm-hmm. You can, and you're docked there, then you can kind of come and go. But the meals, all your meals are already paid for on the boat, so they kind of expect you to be there and eat your meals. So, there aren't that many times when you can go back to the ship, eat, and then go back to the same place.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if they have a bunch of small towns they're going to, like that's one thing about the riverboat cruises like in Germany or Portugal and stuff like that, or when I was on the coastal cruise in Croatia, they go to little small towns. So then you only need you can see the highlights in 2 to 4 hours, but more than that it gets to be tough. So if you really want to see a place, I'd say cruises are to give you a taste and then decide if you want to go do more.
And then you can go back to a place you really like. I mean, that's what I would suggest.
Yeah. So Indian origin, U.S. 35,000. Wow, I wish I had 35,000 job bonus. Africa overland. Jocelyn really wants to go to Rwanda and Kenya and stuff like that. And then I want to go to the very south side, like the south part of it. So those are, it depends what you want. But I know I have friends that have worked in Africa. And they're like, oh, the south's so boring down there. Go in the center. Go explore there. So there is some other stuff out there. Which one? Oh, Sao Paulo. Adriano, oi, meu amigo de Sao Paulo. Obrigado. He says he can help and guide us. That's very nice. Though I think my mamai would beat the crap out of you because I have to spend time with her when I'm there. So there is that. But obrigado, Adriano. Podemos ver shopping juntos, tá bom? Some other stuff.
Oh, Nova Scotia.
Hey, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah, beautiful place, beautiful place. Are there any places you'd never visit again? I don't know if there's any place I would never visit again. There's places that I'd be like, hey, you know what? I want to see a bunch of other stuff first before I go back there, which is one of the things is sometimes we get invited to do like a cruise or do a tour or something like that. I'm like, oh, would you want to do this tour with us? And I'm like, I've already been to those places, and there's so much more to see. And we got our kids, and they only have a certain amount of time off for school, so it really becomes like, is the time, things like that. So if I want to go back, we go back. If we have friends there or family there, we go back. If there's some place like in my heart, like I love Lithuania because I lived there for so long. I love Italy because we have so many friends there. In Portugal, Menina Naciola, my son was born there, and so like there's a special place in my heart. We can always go back. So Kathy, this one's from Mom. Kathy, are there places you won't go as a senior because of safety concerns, whereas they'd probably be okay for younger people? I don't know.
Well, maybe some places, South America.
Well, yeah, like
some places in Brazil, possibly. I don't know about Mexico. How?
Well, Mexico depends where you're going to go. Yeah. There's some things, and I think one of the big things is like it depends on how comfortable you feel as a traveler about going to these places. Because the thing is you can go to a safe place, but if you feel scared by it, then it doesn't matter. You're going to be freaked out by it. So it comes a lot of just preparing yourself and asking.
And I think just being careful where you put your money. You just have to take precautions because you are a target if you look older.
Hey, Adriana, you just wrote back and say drink a shop together. My honor, I'll take you to the best Choperia bar in Sao Paulo.
Oh, that sounds good.
Is it the place with the lion? There's I went to one that was supposed to be the best that had a lion. So if you could write me back, Adriana, let me know. That was the one that's there. What is your opinion the best country to visit? For me, my favorite place to visit is Brazil, but I always say if you speak Portuguese, it's the best place to go. If you don't, it's a good place to go. Otherwise, I'd probably go with Italy. Would be my favorite one to go to.
Italy is very nice.
Yeah, but there's so many. I feel bad saying that because I love going to Japan. I love going to these places. So
I love going to
why must you guys ask us such tough questions that we feel bad about? Let's see. What should I do in Luxembourg? Wow, I was there. A friend of mine, Isabella lives there. Great girl. I went and saw her because she's a friend of mine. Hung out there during one of their festivals. In their main park in Luxembourg City, it had Born to be Mild. So I'm just going to leave that one there. Kyle writes, should I travel to Chicago? Yeah, the Windy City's cool. Mm-hmm. It's worth checking.
There's a
lot of great museums, good food to go eat.
Wonderful museums.
Yeah, so you have a good time there. So we have that. Tips for Munich. We got so many tips on Munich. Just put Munich and Wolters World.
Oh my goodness.
Paris or Rome.
Well, I think
either one, you'll be fine.
I'd take Paris. But...
Adriano, shopping primeiro de mim. Tá bom. Let's see, what else we have? When you come to Vancouver, do you want to meet up? I might set up a meetup there for that because we actually do have a lot of people have written us from Vancouver. So if I can do something, it would be cool. But every time I try to set up a meetup or anything, it's like don't get much feedback if we want to do it. So that's why I feel bad sometimes if I want to do that. Because I don't want. There's nothing special. We're just two people traveling with the kids and stuff. But we do really like meeting our fans when we travel around. People come up and say hi.
It's fun when we're traveling together and somebody recognizes Mark and says. We were in Paris one time, and he was in the Louvre, and somebody recognized him from Brazil. And then we went somewhere else in a restaurant, and this gal comes up and says, "Aren't you Mark?" And she was with her parents, and so he was with his parents.
But it's funny how many people know, people give me this look, I think that's him, but then they wait to see one of the kids. Now, if Jocelyn's with me, no one additionally recognizes me. But if I'm with the boys, oh, you're with one of the kids. Yeah, there you go. It's really funny. Jocelyn's no one recognizes me. I'm it's because you're not enough videos, baby. It's okay. So Janet Blair writes, 61 years old. Oh, hush, you're 51.
You're young.
You're young. Shh. Traveling alone to Italy, France in September, you'll be totally
those
fine.
Are great places.
Start in Venice or Paris. I would start in Venice because you're going to fly in. You're going to be tired anyway. Might as well get in to do the connector flight. Or you're flying from the U.S. There's actually a couple flights that go directly to Venice. You just get in there and start there. So then you have that first day. It's going to be a waste kind of day. Just have that to relax in Venice and then work your way back up to Paris. Because then when you fly back home, it could be a direct flight to the U.S. from Paris as opposed to having to connect other stuff like that. So I would do that. If I go to Lafayette, am I a target for pickpockets? Not really, because there's not a lot of pickpockets in Lafayette anymore. There's better pockets to pick in other countries. So I used to work there, so I don't have anything there. Joey, I love Jocelyn too. Thank you. Okay, one here. Jocelyn probably won't answer this, but she's not here or even commenting. They ask, what jewelry should I take? One thing I always say whenever I travel, minimal jewelry. Like my mom's not going to take that necklace, when she's going to go traveling. No. Depending where we're going to go, I might not even take my wedding ring sometimes.
I have travel clothes and I have travel jewelry, and if it's something that you can replace, you take it. If it's something I can't replace, I won't take it or I won't wear it. Yeah, and that's the thing is, that's the way you got to look at it. And also, most of the time, nothing is going to happen to you. No one's going to try to steal you or rob you or things like that. It's very rarely that it happens. But the thing is, it's one of those, prepare yourself. Why put yourself in that position? Just, take the ring off and you leave it at home. Yeah, we have a safe deposit box, and all of our really important stuff goes in there. So if our house burns down or gets robbed while we're gone, well, what are they going to get? We don't have anything. So all of our money goes to travel. So you're not going to get anything good. Somebody asked about simple gold earrings. It's you're fine. Costume jewelry is fine. You don't want anything. You don't want anything gaudy. You don't want anything big, huge pearl earrings or big diamond things. Maybe not. Maybe that 19 karat gold diamond ring thing. Maybe not. Okay, so let's get back to some other questions. Bring your raincoat. When you travel to bring my rain. Okay, bring the raincoat. So Vancouver in May, I need to bring my raincoat. Okay. Adriano, if you want to write me on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wolters World. Send me a direct message. We can try to hook up because we're gonna be in Sao Paulo for a few days. So S Draper 201. Pro tip, ladies, even if you're not married, take and wear an inexpensive like sterling wedding band. It helps out to cut down on the harassment a lot. I've actually had a number of my friends that have made that comment. Now most of my friends are married now, but that is actually one thing now that she brings this up. Thank you, S Draper 2011. I appreciate that because that's really kind of a true thing. And so because that's everywhere in the world. So whatever you can do. It sucks. This is a good one too.
I'm going to China with my son in March. I speak no Chinese. Should I get a private guide for the major attractions or wing it? We were going to Xi'an. Okay, so I've done both. When we were there, I would say pay for the guide. Pay for a guide that speaks good English. Like, check the reviews to make sure their English is really good, because there's so much history in every Chinese site that you really, even if you have a good guidebook, you miss out on so much.
You need a guide.
So I would definitely do that.
I mean, when we were in Peru, having a guide that spoke English and was familiar, it was worth it. Well worth it.
So, Nick Nunes he says, I live in Brazil. It isn't dangerous as much as they like to make it seem. I hate when people look at me with a bad face because they think Brazil is dangerous. I'm right there with him. This is one thing that upset me so bad is before the last Olympics, 2016, there was so much bad press about Brazil, like everyone's going to die, get killed, and all this kind of stuff. And we actually, our fans voted us to go down there. Like we let them choose where we go. But one thing we want to do is go down there and show that, look, you can go to Brazil with your family. We had no issues. Brazil's a fantastic place. Yes, there are issues. You got to be smart in certain places. I'm not going to lie and say it's totally fine. But, it's not like everywhere is horrible. I mean, Minas Gerais is totally fine. I mean, we had a great time when we were there. Let's see. Someone else wrote one I wanted to get back to you. Dang it. Let's see what you got one up there, mind. Yeah, so ARM, smart, Kathy. I wear costume jewelry when traveling. When I lived in Manhattan, never wore anything to attract attention. Exactly. That's exactly what I do. You don't want to attract attention. So you have those things there. Okay, so let's get back. Have you ever come to the south of Brazil? Well, I was in Iguazu and the Pantanal, but I haven't done to Santa Catarina yet. Or Floripa yet. But, it's only a matter of time.
Brazil's a big
It's a big country. That's the thing. It's just a big country. Do you know anything about New Zealand? I'm from LA and going to New Zealand in November. It's beautiful. It looks amazing. And actually, sometimes you can rent an RV if you fly into the top of the country or the bottom of the country. You can take an RV for free to take it back down to the other end, and then want to fly over to Australia or something like that. It's a gorgeous place. Is there any countries where the internet is restricted? China. Tell you that one right now. Get a VPN, virtual private network, if you need to make sure you can contact stuff from work and things like that. Someone asked, would you visit Syria? Eventually, yes, we would visit Syria. There's so many great things to see there and history there that one day we would go there. Not right now, but eventually in the future, yes. What is the best airline to fly to Spain in terms of comfort? Ooh. From the U.S., maybe Delta. I like Delta, so I've flown with them to Spain. It was fine, but it's not like you have like Cathay Pacific or anything that's flying to Spain from the U.S. So it's like, but for flying from Spain around Europe, there's Welling, which is one of the cheaper airlines, but it's actually a nicer one. I've actually enjoyed flying with them a few times. Okay, would you visit Turkmenistan to see the doorway to hell? Well, I would go to Turkmenistan, but I don't know if I want to go to the doorway of hell. So, but I know one of these days. Okay, question is, 20-year-old with 35 job bonus, should I spend the money on 4,000 tour of Africa? Already studying Europe. Yeah, if you've already done the European thing, yes, I would do the African tour. That would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, you can spend with $4,000. You can spend months in South America and well, not years, but months in Southeast Asia. Your money would go farther there. And I know Nojo had asked that before, so I feel bad. I tried to answer it a little bit better before, but there is that. What was my most interesting experience on a plane? Who was the most interesting passenger you sat next to? So when I was in college, I got upgraded once, and I sat next to this person who was unearthing a city in Iraq that was from the Sumerian times or something like that. And the next month, I got the National Geographic and opened it up, and the dude is in there. And I talked about those. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So that was the coolest person I ever met on a plane. But I meet lots of nice people on the plane, but that was the coolest one. What do you recommend doing visiting in Orlando besides the theme parks? Going over to the coast. That's what I recommend. Is Iberia a good airline? I've had hit and miss experiences with this. My sister-in-law would never fly them again. I've flown them a few times, so hit and miss. So any advice on how to handle upset stomach? Ginger ale, 7-Up. Well, you're gonna get a lot of 7-Up's pretty much everywhere. I find that works better than Sprite. That's a good one for a tummy thing if you're looking for something just for the bubbles to go there. And saltine crackers or toot crackers, which you get in Europe, things like that. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate the help. I mean, you guys don't understand how much it really helps us when you guys do the super chats. It really does help us to travel more and do things. So thank you so much. Oh, Kennedy Space Center for Orlando, but that's not really in Orlando. You got to go to the coast. Like I said, go to the coast. Is business clothing a giveaway? Here's the thing. People go to business when you travel too, so it just depends where you are. I mean, if you're walking down Las Ramblas in Barcelona in a suit, people are like, what? Because it's mostly tourists. But if you're walking around New York or you're walking around Munich, it's no big deal. So don't worry about that. Have I ever flown on a Brazilian airline? Yes, I fly with Gol a lot when we go down to Brazil. Like we're going to fly with them a lot this summer, and I found them to be very nice. They've always helped me out. They're also a Delta code share, so we got miles for there. And since Brazil is so big, it actually pays off to do that. Do you need a yellow fever shot for Peru? They recommend it, but we didn't get it. So
we didn't get it.
Little Diamond asks, is anyone in Canada? Yes, there's like millions of people in Canada, you silly person. I hate people that don't know anything about Canada. It's a great place. Let's see what else we have.
Oh, how congested is Highway to Chicago?
The highway to Chicago O'Hare. Oh, man. Chicago traffic. If it's rush hour, you'll be like, God hates me. I mean, it sucks. But if you're coming if you got like a flight like at 2, you'll be fine. I mean, and the thing is, I think Waze does a better job than Google Maps if you're using a driving app to get you there. So you have that. Mario Lover writes, would you go to the Middle East? Yes, we will. Don't worry. Okay, so Devin Armstrong. Devin's on a roll here. Have you had a problem with visas getting places? No. Never had any problems with visas at all. Well, Jocelyn did. It took her 13 months to get her first 12-month visa in Portugal, but that was a whole other story. Okay, so Esteban Diaz, beaches, the Bahamas, Cancun, Cabo. What beaches do you recommend? Probably the Bahamas. But Cancun, if you go down by Cancun, like Isla Mujeres and stuff like that, and Cozumel, those are really nice too. And I like those. I like Cancun a lot because there's still history there. You can go see the Mayan things as well. I know it's really touristy, but it can be really fun. They're going so fast, it's so hard for me to keep up. Would you suggest getting an international SIM card while overseas or talk to my service provider? I would talk to your service provider because T-Mobile has such a good deal. You don't have to get one. But we have AT&T, so we got to call, and they'll get it set up for us, so it just depends. Timothy Major asks, do you have a live stream schedule? For those of you who didn't know, we didn't have a live stream schedule because our Comcast internet at my house really, really sucked. And so we finally got them to fix that, so hopefully we can get something a little more stable. And so it might be that we do 1 or 2 a month, where one we can do it midday so we can get US and Europe, and then we do one in the evening in the US so we can get Australia and Asia and stuff like that, and India, because we have a lot of people that write us from there. Which one? Currencies. From a parent standpoint, how to handle your child moving overseas. Mom, I will let you take care of that one.
Well, that happened to us many times, for, I don't know, 5-10 years. When your child's grown, they're out of the house. He was responsible. He didn't check in with us all the time, but we usually knew where he was. You have to trust your child, and so, that. And I guess the other thing is go see them. Go see where they're living. Don't wait. Get over there. You don't have to travel with them when they first move. They may need a little space, but get over there, and then you'll be more comfortable once you've seen the environment and what they live in.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the best thing, because I studied abroad a lot of times. My parents came to visit me in some, not all the times. Just realize when it comes to studying abroad or going abroad for a time, their first month there, everything is new and cool and awesome, and so they're probably not going to call you too much. Second month, things start to become normal for them, and then the third month's when homesickness kicks in, and so that's what I'd say is to be supportive of them. Send that care package the second month so it gets there, so there's something.
Care packages.
Care packages.
Yes, I sent a lot of those.
Yes, we got a lot of mac and cheese in Lithuania and all that kind of stuff into that.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, well, peanut butter, we can get that now. It's not too tough anymore, but back in our day, she used to send it. My buddy Alvi in Lithuania, he loves my mom because they're chocolate chip cookies. Because he's like, you got a box. I saw that you got a box. I saw the thing on your mailbox. We're going right now. He'd like come grab me and take me to the post office because we had to go pick up the box. Like, no, we're getting it now. So that was pretty funny. Let's see. Yeah, that's my mom. Yes, she is a great mom, Matthew. She is a very great mom. I'm very lucky. My dad's nice too, but he's watching the Olympics now and enjoying his devices, so he's good. Oh, what are you doing, Liam? Oh, Liam's playing Goat Sim. Is that Zombie Goat Simulator?
No.
What is it?
Normal one.
Oh, Liam's playing Normal Goat Simulator.
What do you do to survive a 16-hour flight?
Oh, man. A 16... Okay, so we actually have a video. If you put up how to survive long-haul flights, Wolters World on YouTube, it'll come up with a lot of advice. One of the things I always say is, one, have your devices charged up, have a backup battery, put a bunch of music and films and stuff on your devices. If you got kids, what I'll do is I'll actually pack up the iPad full of movies for them, just for them. Because I'm like, I'll suck it up, but I don't want my kids, going crazy. They do fine on the trips. Because I know the long-haul flights have plenty of movies and stuff like that. But the thing is, you go 16 hours there, you got to come 16 hours back, and you've already seen everything. It's not as much fun. I would say get an aisle seat to get your feet to stretch out. Always get up every so often to stretch your legs, because that's a really big issue.
Yeah. Get up. Go to the restroom frequently.
Okay, so one person wrote, what's the number one place either of you want to visit that you haven't been to? Egypt. Jinx!
Turkey.
Turkey.
No, she hasn't. She hasn't been to Egypt.
And
I noticed that there's a Jocelyn Wolters who's finally signed on.
Hi, honey.
She's been calling me again and again and again on here and again. And I'm like, we're online. So, hi, honey. We love you, babe. Yes. Where were you born? I'm from Illinois. She's from Ohio. Okay, how did you come up with the 10 worst and best video concepts? This is actually one thing. We start with the 5 Love and Hates because I went to this town in Italy and this guidebook had made it sound so fantastic, and then I got there and the town was just crap. And I'm like, man, this sucks. I mean, and I was doing my PhD at the time, so I had a little more free time than a typical U.S. 20-something-year-old. And so I thought about it, like, man, my buddies only had like 10 days of vacation, 2 weeks. Imagine you came to Europe, maybe you're one time in your life or one time like every 5 years or something like that, and 10% of your vacation goes 10 days. 1 day's wasted in some crappy town. That's not fair to anybody. And then I started to see that guidebooks only talked about the best things. They made everything seem wonderful. And I'm like, it's not every place isn't wonderful. There are issues.
Yeah.
And even places I love like Paris and Portugal, I'll talk about the good and the bad. Because when you talk about the good and the bad, then you're prepared for when you get there. So then it's not a shock or a surprise. It's like, oh, right, you got to pay for that bread. Watch out for that. Or, oh, watch out for the dog poop. I mean, there's these things. And that's
you got to pay for the bathroom.
Yeah, pay for the bathroom. I mean, there's things like that I really like. That's one of the things I really love about what we do is we really help travelers.
I would like to go here.
Oh, India, yes. We do want to go to India. That's one of the ones. It's probably a 2020 thing. We're looking at for that one. Yeah, because we try to plan out for a little while. Yeah, the South Africa, Kenya, Madagascar. Well, that's kind of a big, wide triangle. But yes, all those places we would go. Someone wrote about overnight buses. Do I recommend them? Man, your back will hate you. If you're young, yes. If you're not young, no. Which one are you looking at, Mom?
No, it was a nice compliment.
I don't know.
You're an inspiration.
Oh, hi, Mark. I just want you to know that you're a huge inspiration to me, and that because of you, when I get a little bit older, I hope you can travel some too. I'm sure, Drew, we will bump into each other. I'll get you a Coke or a 7-Up because we're pseudo-healthy. I don't know. But thank you. It's very nice to hear.
England.
Well, favorite place in England. My favorite place in England is York. I love York. Yeah, it's gorgeous. York is fantastic.
Yeah.
London is. London's like New York. It's not.
City.
It's a big city. It's not necessarily England. Go out and explore more. And you can say that about a lot of the big cities out there.
Salisbury was nice.
Salisbury's nice.
We had a really nice experience.
Yeah, we went there for New Year's one year. We were in Salisbury. And then we went to London. It was raining this way. I'm like, how does it rain that way?
It was the wettest I've ever been.
My socks were soaking wet. I don't know how. It was crazy. Everything was soaking wet. Melissa, you're very welcome for the replies. What is the weather like in Europe in April? Well, it really varies from top to bottom. If you're going from the middle down, it's nice, beautiful weather. If you're going from the middle up, I lived in Finland and we had a blizzard in April. So in the beginning of April. So
Cool.
what I always tell people about weather is about, a week before you're going to go when you start to pack, look at the 10-day forecast. It'll give you a rough idea what's coming. That's the best way to do it.
Always plan to bring something that you can wear on top of something else.
Why don't you talk about layers? Do your clothes.
Yeah. I always dress in layers, and what I find is that when I'm traveling, that's a great principle, is because if I can go 2 or 3 layers deep, when I travel, I'll wear the heaviest clothes on the airplane. If I'm going to take boots, I'm going to wear them on the airplane, coats, but always layer, a light layer, a medium layer, and a heavy layer, and maybe even a 4th layer. That way you can always take them off, and you always have choices to wear, and you don't have to take a whole lot of clothes then. You can get 12 items just between 5 you got on and 5 you pack in a suitcase. So layering is your best policy. Just remember, you can be hot or you can be cold, and that way you've got it covered.
Yeah, because the one thing you don't want to be is cold and wet. If you have something, you can just have that layer over top.
Yeah,
makes
cold
a big
and
difference.
wet is absolutely, and make sure you have something water repellent, because that time we were in London and it rained the whole time we were there. We needed 2 pairs of shoes and more because our shoes got soaking.
I forgot about that. Yep, that's true. This is why you do family travel, multi-generational travel, so you have these memories, because you don't always remember it either. Hey, Vasu, you wrote and you asked about travel young as 21 or save for later travel. No, go now. I started doing this when I was, 15, 16?
Yeah.
And they started
16.
this when they're like 50. And do it when you can. If you can't do it till later, then do it when you're later.
I traveled. I just didn't travel.
Oh, you
we
didn't
travel.
Yeah, we traveled. My parents worked all over the U.S. when I was a kid. So, okay. So Henry Martinez, hey, good to see you again. Hey, it's been a while. I think you commented on the last video, but hello, good evening. What do you guys think? You'll be coming to San Francisco? Well, we're going to San Diego and maybe LA this year, but San Francisco is definitely on the list. So don't worry, buddy. We're getting there, and then I'll get you a beer this time. Okay, thanks, Adriano. I'll check that out when we get there. Okay, so what are essentials for travelers? Patience is a key. Doing your research and just having an open mind, and you'll have a great time traveling.
Yeah, be open to meeting people.
So Max asks, what do you think of the stands? I don't know a lot about them. I'll be honest. I was talking to a company about doing something in the stands this summer, and it fell through. So I only just started doing some research. But I would have no problem ending up there and doing some travels there. So I don't have a really big problem. Who am I rooting for in the World Cup? Man, I've lived in 12 countries, and I have children that were born in many countries, and I'm happy with so many countries that go in there. It's really easy for me because the USA isn't in it, so every game I can have a team I'm rooting for. The problem is when it gets to the last rounds and I have to choose between cheering for my buddies in Mexico and my buddies in Italy, and I'm like, I want them both to win, but they can't. Dang it. That's when it gets tough.
How about different than both?
Oh, so there's both? Yes, both. We go to both and we celebrate them all. So Jocelyn Wolters writes, unicorn poo. Okay, so when you travel and you poop, because people poop when they travel, it's smelly. It is smelly. Poop is smelly, and no one likes it. So there's all kinds of sprays now, like VI Poo, Poopery, Unicorn Gold. I think that's the one. Unicorn Poo. There's a lot of them out there that do a good job of covering up the smell. It's not like Febreze. It's a small thing like this. You just spray in the water, and it covers the stuff so it doesn't stink.
I go upstairs to get one.
Yeah, Unicorn Poo is the best. That's the best one out there. I'll do a video on it. I won't make Johnson do that. I'll do a video on that so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So, SoCal Seth, do you do carry-on only? I do carry-on only. But sometimes you can't do carry-on only because you're going to be gone longer or something like that.
I could do carry-on only, but I would prefer not to have to carry it. But I'm always going to pack light because, number one, I don't want, in a lot of places you don't have room for a big suitcase. So the fewer things you take, the fewer things you have to keep track of. So packing light pays dividends in space and also in what you're carrying. So, yeah, if you can travel in a carry-on, that's a great way to go because you can be in and out. You don't have to wait on luggage.
Yeah. Hey, Wendell, I'm glad. That's really nice of you, man. And I really appreciate that. The huge inspiration. When I can't travel and I watch your videos, you feel like you're there. And that's what we try to do. I'm trying to put more of the B-rolls and background pictures and stuff like that so y'all can see more things. As Liam was now taking off his shirt because that's how he plays Goat Simulator. Tough. But no,
I'm hot.
oh, he's hot. He's hot. So we're having a nice time. So Therese Flora writes, what should I pack for a year abroad? I'll tell you this. Pack like 5 outfits and that's it. Because if you want to fit in wherever you're going to move, buy the clothes in the country you're going to. It's the fastest way to fit in and the fastest way to meet people and stuff. Because if you have clothes that don't fit in, then they're like, oh, that's the foreign girl. Yeah. Where you have the clothes that are from there, you fit in a lot faster.
But it also depends too on the size you are and if it's easy for you to find clothes. Because if you're Mark's size and you go to some countries where the people are quite small,
Japan, no clothes for me.
He can't find anything. So he would have to have me sending him clothes probably. But I wouldn't take too many clothes. I'd take what you need, and I'd plan on, like you said, buying things when you get there because you will fit in better. It's like shoes. You can tell a traveler by their shoes.
Yeah, you can see what country they're from. So one person wrote and asked, what are the more racist countries to travel to? Obviously I'm a fat white guy, so it's hard for me to say those things, but I have seen, if you're looking at Europe, the more east you go, you tend to have more issues. In Asia, I've actually seen a lot of places where, like in China, we were traveling with some African-American professors with us, and people take pictures of us like this, but with them, they'd put their camera down and pretend they weren't looking and take pictures. But overall, when you're traveling, there's only one color people care about, and that's green. So don't be too worried about it. Tourist money is tourist money, no matter what.
Space Goat is my favorite on this one.
Cool. So Henry Martinez, Mark, I'm thinking of going to England and Poland later this year. Is it best to buy a local SIM card in both countries? I have an iPhone 6S. Henry, if you're in San Francisco, if you have an AT&T and it's locked, you won't be able to get a SIM card to work in there. It's got to be an unlocked phone. You might just want to talk to your provider because AT&T has your own. You can pay a daily fee. T-Mobile has it sort of already set up, so that could help you out. Any tips or suggestions for the Azores in Portugal? Eat the beef and be happy. Just eat and enjoy Azores. That's all I can really say. Can you do a carry-on packing video for us bigger guys? SoCal South, I actually did one when I was in Poland, but I'm such a bad at explaining packing that I haven't put it together yet because I was pathetic. But I'll try to put it together for you. Bratislava or Vienna, I would stay in Bratislava. It's cheaper, but Vienna has more stuff to do for those kind of things. Tips for first-time Asia goers. Seats are smaller, lots smaller spaces. Food, it's Asian food all the time. Everywhere you go, you're not going to have a lot of variation. In cities like Singapore, Beijing, you can find some stuff. Hong Kong, you can find everything. Yeah. But that you're going to eat a lot more of the local stuff. Just like anywhere in the world, you're going to eat local most of the time. Best travel memory for mom and son moment. Well,
how nice.
I like to call my mom and dad my little duckies because they
ducklings.
I call them my ducklings. Duckies. Oh, okay. Because they'll walk behind us and I'll be walking and leading them and then they follow behind me. So we were in Frankfurt once and I was like, I wonder. And I started to go across the street and then come back over. And so my mom would follow me and then I was crossing back over and then my dad was crossing the street to go to the other side where I already had come back to. And then we're like, Dad, he's like, what? And he had to turn around in the middle of the street to come back over because he was just blatantly behind us. So that was funny. Hey, Brett, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The super chat from Brett Siegel, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Well, we have lots of memories, and that's what makes traveling with your family great. Yeah, because
the thing is, every time we meet, we can always talk about the travels and the experiences, and that's what makes family travel so great. That's why I love doing these things with my kids, because I know when I'm old and great, we can talk about this stuff.
Yeah, and our first time in Berlin was when Mark lived there, and Mark was 20-something, and I was probably 50, and that was the first time, or second time I'd been abroad.
Yeah, and the thing is, from then on, we became a lot closer with all our travels, and now we have these really rich experiences together. Whereas a lot of times, with your parents and your kids, you only have a few experiences, and the travel one is wow, we're traveling abroad together, so us together, and so we have those things. And yeah, we have jokes with my dad, and I'm not going to say we got along all the time. I mean, my dad and I have fought over stuff, like not like
Well,
punch, but like
you're gonna have a little conflict, whatever you do.
I mean, it's not like traveling changes your dynamics all the time. So just know that always happens. Most interesting German cities near the Netherlands border. Aachen is cool. Trier is cool. Kolchum on the Mosel River is cool. I like those. You can go over to Cologne too.
What about
for a bigger one?
Strasbourg?
Well, Strasbourg, that's France. That's going
Okay.
farther south, down by Freiburg and stuff. So Oscar Hernandez wrote, "Is Tokyo more international or traditional Japan?" It is international Japan. It is the techno neon Japan, but you can find like cool back stuff. If you want to see like traditional Japan in a big city, I would go to Kyoto. That would be my recommendation. Countries I've lived in: the U.S., Australia, Finland, Austria, Argentina, Lithuania,
Brazil.
Germany, Brazil.
Lithuania, did you say?
Yeah, I got that one. Then I worked a lot. I worked for a time in China. I probably spent about 6 to 8 months in England and about the same in Italy. So quite a few. Just got to get France to live there. Mon ami.
That'd be okay.
Yeah.
I could come visit.
There you go. Should I study for 5 weeks in Brazil, in Floripa, or Bilbao, Spain? But I'm worried about yellow fever outbreak in Brazil. Don't worry about the yellow fever outbreak in Floripa. You're on the coast. Don't worry about that. Either one would be a good time. There'd be very different experiences, though. Funniest memory: my mom walking around in her Obi-Wan jacket.
That was that raincoat that I was telling you about. That when we were in London, I had this coat that really did look like Obi-Wan Kenobi in it, black, and it has a hood. So I even have a duplicate of it because it works so well.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey, yeah. Someone asked, are the t-shirts still up? Look, if you want to grab a Wolters World t-shirt today, now, you need to get it because tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow evening at this time in 24 hours, you won't be able to buy the shirts anymore. And I don't know if we're going to do this again because we're going to see if people actually like our stuff or not. So Wolters World t-shirts, if you want to get one, bonfire.com/WoltersWorld300. So you can get t-shirts, hoodies, baseball shirts, kids shirts, all kinds of stuff. And if it goes well, maybe we'll have
large sizes, small
other
sizes, female sizes.
Mm-hmm. But if you're going to get the female cuts, get a size or two bigger. They'll even tell you that. So there is those things. Next up. I'm traveling to Amsterdam for spring break, and my parents are terrified of me being trafficked. Look, if you're not...
No, it's not.
Okay. If you go... I don't know why people think Amsterdam and that other... did everyone watch Taken? Is it become popular again? Look, if you're smart and you're a good tourist and you pay attention, you'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
I would go there on my own.
Yeah. I've gone there on my own. She's gone there. I've jostled on her own.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. The thing is just pay attention. You'll be fine, okay? Mark, what is one of the... Henry Martinez. Thanks again, Henry, man. I really appreciate it. Mark, what is one of the most scariest or dangerous travel experiences you've ever had? Oh, man. Yeah, I know. We've been around for a while, Henry. We've been chatting for a while. So probably a couple ones that scared me the most. I got shook down at the Paraguay-Argentina border. That was kind of scary. And then the militia, the police in St. Petersburg, shook a buddy of mine and myself down. But we were pretty drunk at the time, so it was half funny, half scared to death. So,
good
little different
mother
things.
Didn't know about that.
Yeah. Then there's probably other times my dad was worried when I was in Mexico and I disappeared for a while. But whatever.
Yeah, that was a...
So Jocelyn's telling whoever, Brett, Nicaragua. Yeah, Nicaragua's great. That's Jocelyn's favorite place. She wants to move there. So... Oh, Liam's getting a little out. Liam's getting a little feisty, so we're gonna have to wrap this up here in a little bit. So let's get the last couple of questions, and I'll watch Dragons, How to Train Your Dragon with Liam here to get him ready for bed. Okay, can you name a country or city in each continent that is least expensive? I can't say least expensive overall, but I mean you got great places like Nicaragua in Central America is great. Well, Peru was a little bit pricier, but it's still affordable, doable. Argentina was okay. Europe, Spain, Portugal, Greece, Croatia, all those. And I really love Tunisia, actually. I thought it was a good price and really nice people and great stuff to see for that. So there's all kinds of places. My friend and I are going to Las Vegas for 21. We have plans to go to the Grand Canyon and are looking to do an ATV and any other tips. Okay, so Jake, when you go to Vegas and you want to do the Grand Canyon, if you could you're 21st, so you can't really rent a car. The bus tours that take you out to the Grand Canyon and stuff like that, make sure they're taking you straight there versus going to like the bus station and sitting there for like an hour or two, then taking people. That was really crappy when we did that. But that was to the Hoover Dam. But just have a heads up for that one. Which one are you looking at?
Oh, I was just looking at the Russians.
Russian. Okay, so Russia. We had a good time in Russia. I've been there a few times. I might go back. If you're going to go for the World Cup, we do have videos for you. The don'ts of Russia, and we're going to put a bunch of Russia videos out here coming up soon.
Haven't you been there? Your dad's been
No,
there.
my dad's in there.
Oh.
Someone was asking before about going non-beach places in Mexico. My dad actually worked in Mexico for 10 years, so we have some experience. Yeah, Grandpa worked in Mexico, dude. And so I went down there with him in like Guadalajara, Aguascalientes, stuff like that, Monterrey, and had a great time. Some really great memories that we can't tell my mom about. But anyway, moving on. Hey, you're welcome, Henry. Don't worry about it. Okay, America Salazar. I'm a picky eater, and I think it would be very difficult for me to find something to eat in foreign countries. How should I deal with this? Is this a problem when traveling with your kids? No, we make them try different things. They're open to it. Picky eating. The thing is, if it's picky eating or if you have allergies and stuff like that, depending where you go, a lot of places will work with you. And if you're not sure, you can talk to the chef and ask them. So there's always option. There's always grocery stores, which actually is a really great experience. I'll let you talk about that, and then we'll wrap it up. So the grocery store experience you like to do.
Oh, always like to go in wherever we go. I like to go in a grocery store because it tells you a lot about people and how the food's laid out and what they're eating and how it's packaged. I don't know. It's just very interesting. And then what fresh fruit and vegetables there are. Going to the market in Brazil, I think, was one of the highlights in Sao Paulo of my life. I mean, just seeing all the different produce that we don't have here in the United States. And then all the other countries, eating habits are so different.
Yeah. And Joe Kozak says hardware stores too. That's really true. That is true. Hardware stores are kind of. I haven't been interested. I had to go to some. It's a very different experience.
Yeah.
And our buddy Tosh writes and asks, he liked the glue vine video when we made glue vine together. Remember you made your wassel?
Oh yeah.
So he wants to know if we're going to see Kathy in the kitchen anytime soon again.
Oh well, we could.
We could. We'll figure out something.
We could do something from Germany, I'm sure.
Yes, we'll figure something out. Anyway, well, I got to get my mommy. Oh, thank you, Allison, for picking up a shirt. I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody that got the shirts and stuff like that. It means a lot to us. Jocelyn, we love you. More photos of Jocelyn on the beach. Yes, I'd love more of those, please. Anyway, I hope you all have a great time traveling. Jocelyn, we love you, babe. We'll see you tomorrow at home. Thank you, everybody, for being so nice to my mom. I really enjoyed doing this with her. I hope you guys got some answers and some other fun. Everyone that gave out the super chats, thank you so much. It really does make a difference for our travels so we can do more places, go more places and see more things and make more videos. And it just really means a lot. So thank you so much. Love you too, Daniel. Who's Jocelyn? Exactly. That's right, Tosh. You know Jocelyn. So we have that. Hamburg, Berlin, New York City.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love New York. And then London, then Berlin, then Hamburg. Shh, don't tell anybody. So we'll say, everybody, thank you so much. Have a great time traveling wherever you are. Anything you want to say, Mom, before we go?
Travel. Keep traveling.
Yeah, keep on traveling.